What is up? What is up, founders? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Indivera, and today I'll be showing you guys how I make and edit my Instagram photos. Now, I've gotten asked to do this video for a long time, but I just haven't gotten a chance to do it since this is my senior year. But today, since I have all the time in the world, I thought it would be best to bring out old photos and show you guys how I play around and edit them using my preset. Now, my feed's aesthetic have obviously changed over the years. I used to own a Sony a6000. Now I use a Sony a7R Mark III. It's very sexy and expensive. And a G7X, a Mark II for vlogging. Now, over the years, iPhone have progressively gotten better at taking photos. There's new features to it now, and they just keep getting better and better, making DSLR photos a bit more vintage-ish. Now, when it comes to Instagram photos, obviously you can polish a shitty photo, but again, 90% of that work should have already been through composition. I edit and shoot in bulk, so I can't afford wasting 90% of my time just editing. So I usually just shoot, and then all I have to do is just edit, slap a preset in, and then upload and then send it to my clients. So I edit a lot of my photos using Lightroom, and I know a lot of you guys already use Lightroom on your phone. Now, I prefer editing with my computer because it allows me to get to the nitty-gritty stuff. I recently just bought my new drawing pad. It's very cheap. I bought it for $30. They're not that bad, but it allows you to get to like the small details and actually retouch the subject. Now, if you do want to buy my preset, it is available online. I did make it as cheap as possible because I know what it's like being a broke college student. But do keep in mind that every single photo is different. Your equipment would probably be more different than mine, so don't expect my preset to work on everything. So let's start off with this photo. We're gonna head over to Lightroom real quick.
But okay, so head over to develop. All right, let's start with Chris. So with this photo, it already looks good, but then again, we need to give it a bit more of like an oomph. So we're gonna head over and plug in our preset. So with this photo, as you can see, it's a little bit more blown out on the side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn down the exposure, turn down the contrast as well, and then we're gonna give it more of a tint to it, and then turn down the white. Okay, there it is. My aesthetic essentially is a bit more earthy tone, kind of. It's not super saturated. I like it more subtle and neutral. This is the before, and this is the after. Now, let's move on to TIFF and Kaylee. Let's do the MC magazine. So as you can see over here, this is pretty blown out. First thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna go over to the exposure section. We're gonna turn down the exposure. Another way you could go about editing exposures by going over to the histogram section, and then you could play around with either shadows, blacks, exposure, highlights, and whites. Usually what you would want is that you would want like a more on the middle look. Sometimes when your photos are a little bit more blown out, it can be more to the side like that. But you could turn it down by going over to the left. But so now their skin is a little bit more pale, so we're gonna head over to the luminance, and we're gonna turn down the orange to have their skin pop out a little bit more. See, but the problem with turning down the highlights too much is that it's gonna give it that like cloudy look on your sky. That's not what you want. So that looks a bit more subtle. Part of what makes this photo like better is that the composition is already great. So as you can see, their skin looks good. Everything looks good. This is the before, and this is the after. Let's head over to take and shoot. Click the preset. That already looks good, but the problem is that her skin and her hair are way too orange. So we're gonna turn down the temperature, and then you could either go to saturation and then turn down orange, go to luminance and then turn down the orange to get rid of that too white of a highlight. Again, depending on the photo and how it turned out as a raw photo, you'd have to do more adjustments than other photos. This is the before and this is the after. Let's head over to Amanda's. Oh, excuse me. This is my little, by the way. Okay, so head over to the preset section, click MC Magazine. As you can see, the exposure over here is kind of all the way to the right. If you look in the histogram, so what you're gonna do is you're just gonna tilt it to the left side, and you could already see how well this photo is turning out. The problem with this is that when I shot it, it was way too exposed. So, and she's also wearing a white shirt, and this is a light background, but then again, this is what editing's for. This already looks good to me. Her skin tone looks good. The best edits are the ones that you can usually tell. This is the before, this is the after. Let's head over to Brooke. All right, so with this, this is gonna be a lot. This edit is gonna be a lot different because, again, her background is all green. The problem with this is that sometimes during the fall, when the leaves are already green, it's so hard for you to separate the subject from the background because the background is already orange and your skin is also orange. Click the magazine preset. And then, so as you notice, the background is a little bit more blown out, and then her skin is kind of like dissolving into it too. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn down the exposure, and then turn down the contrast. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna head over to luminance, change her skin tone, make it pop out a little. There you go. That looks good to me. There are gonna be photos where you're gonna have to do a little bit more retouching. If it really comes down to it, go to the adjustment brush tool, all the way to the right, and then manually go over it. This is the before. This is the after. After you're done with your edit, all you need to do is just click the start of your library, press Shift, and then go all the way to the end. It should select all of them, and all you need to do is File, Export, and then create a subfolder, and then click Export, and it should show up on your desktop as an edited folder. And then from there, you just click all of it, and then right click, share, airdrop, and then it should show up on your phone.
That's it for today, guys. If you guys like that video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Feel free to comment down below any other future tutorials that you guys want me to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nivera, and you're watching Newfound Production.